Penguin Random House Audio presents A Language of Limbs by Dylin Hardcastle, read for you by Aisha D. and Sonya Cullingford. For those who I have loved quietly. Acknowledgement of Country. I was born in Camaragal Country and have spent the majority of my life living between Gadigal land, Wongal land, and Bidjigal land. I wrote this novel on the lands of the Bundjalung people and swam or surfed each day after writing, in waters as clear as daylight. This novel is indebted to those rivers and lakes and sea, and to the Bundjalung people who have cared for those waterways since time immemorial. Because it was in those waters that I dreamt and was playful, that I grieved, cried, and laughed, as I mapped the contours of this novel. At the time of writing this acknowledgement, I am living in Gadigal country. The First Nations people in my life have taught me so much about place and what it means to be anchored in land, for our bodies to be rooted in water and sky. I am indebted to these friends for teaching me how to slow down and form deep and lasting relationships. As my dear friend, Larrakia and Jingly woman Morgan Mags Marlowe says, you live in country, not on it. I wish to acknowledge, then, the traditional custodians of the country in which I have lived, and pay my deepest respects to the traditional custodians of country right across this vast land and its surrounding islands. I acknowledge those who have been caring for these lands, waters, and skies since time immemorial, and the custodians of today who continue to care for country and live in enduring connection to culture despite ongoing processes of brutal and violent colonization. Through researching and talking about this novel, I learnt how deeply LGBTQIA+ liberation movements are indebted to the resistance and relentless activism of Aboriginal and/or Torres Strait Islander people, a fight that has been fought since invasion and continues today. I acknowledge, too, that LGBTQIA+ SB people have existed here and loved here since time immemorial. I used to think of my work as an author as something I did, not something I lived. But through many yarns over the years, especially with Thungari and Bundjalung man Warren Roberts and our friends at Yarn, I have come to understand storytelling as a way of being in the world and acknowledge Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people as the first and original storytellers, and recognize their storytelling as survival, as resistance, as connection to culture, as joy, and as a way to care for country. I pay my respects to elders past and present, and extend those respects to any Aboriginal and/or Torres Strait Islander people here reading this novel. Sovereignty has never been ceded. Always was, always will be. Aboriginal land, water, and sky. We're all the same fucking ocean. We are the same ocean in different drops. Peace, Chatia Sinsonbun. One night on the curb outside the Bearded Tit. We stand on the shoulders of giants whose pain we will never fully understand. Imba Amira Nasi, aka Imbi. One night on the couch at Sabrina. Content warning. This novel contains depictions of family violence, overt transphobia, homophobia, racism, and physical violence. This novel portrays the AIDS pandemic. This novel also depicts a stillbirth. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people are advised that this novel contains references to the stolen generations and police brutality. I have done my best to accurately portray the lived experiences of the LGBTQIA+ community in a time that I didn't live through. However, I acknowledge that the LGBTQIA+ community is not a monolith, and that it is full of vastly diverse experiences. Thank you to those who have offered guidance and consultation. I hope I have done this story justice. Most of all, I hope that as you read, you feel our joy. Limb 1. All my life undoes. With my t-shirt discarded on the floor, with my flesh pricked pink and glistening in the hot glow of the lamp, with my breath dense as a downpour, with my hips pressed hard against the workbench, with my spine arched and shivering, with my throat open, with her hand inside me, with our mouths ravenous, with the door behind us, opening to the impervious wall of night. All my life undoes. Because my mother, standing in the doorway of the garden shed, screams, or at least that's how I'll remember it. A scream that pierces and pulls apart, her words all blurring together because I am already underwater. I feel the blood draining from my hands and feet, running back into my core to protect my heart. I feel weightless, yet impossibly here, because there's no escaping. There's only undoing. She has put her clothes back on. Get dressed, she says. Here, put this on. She thrusts my t-shirt in my lap. I clutch the shirt for a breath and feel this moment stretch out sideways. As I look through my own tears into her eyes, this girl I love shaking my head, crying inside, no, no, no. As she manages a smile and squeezes my shoulders and my limbs quake like they already know what I'm about to lose. Because she leaves, pushing past my mother out into the darkness, running off down the street. I will never see her again. She is gone. My father has heard the scream, and by the time he finds my mother, I am a shuddering, shaking, trembled mess. My mother is in the doorway pointing at me. What is it? He asks, hands open and reaching for me. Are you okay? And for a moment, I think I am saved, forgiven. A moment passes. She was, my mother starts, struggling for words, with her. I scramble to my feet. Dad, wait, please. His eyes dart between my mother and me. I'm in my cotton shirt and pajama pants. He looks down at my bare feet. The garden shed smells of wood shavings and compost and flesh. What the hell is going on? He asks, face fattening with frustration. Your daughter, says my mother, looking away from me, her face contorted by repulsion, like she can no longer fathom that I am of her. She was touching that girl. Touching? Oh, come on. My mother shrieks, erupts with tears. For God's sake, she was kissing that slut. That single word is an axe, heart hacked into bloody chunks, because this summer rolled through me like black thunder, hot and heaving, and she witnessed me in strikes of lightning, flashes of truth and ecstasy. With her, my naked body shifted from an object of desire to the subject of the story. She saw me in all my horror, my blood sparkling red, staining her fingers the first time she reached inside me. And I liked how it felt, being turned inside out, learning that the self becomes whole in the moment it is opened. I watch now, my hands on my mother's chest, shoving her body as if they are someone else's hands. My mother's head hits the shed wall so hard I think she might break through it. Her lips round into an O as a rush of air leaves her throat. Winded, she gasps. I watch her floundering in a pool of shock and disgust. My father's hands are around my neck before I think to run. He drags me through the door, out onto the back lawn, and in the soft glow of the porch light, I see my father's face. The color of a salmon belly sliced open, fleshy and wild. I try to speak, but his grip holds all the words. He raises his fist, hesitates. I think I might die here. The blow is swift, cold on my face the way ice almost feels hot. I land flat on my back. The earth beneath me is spinning, but spinning the other way, the wrong way. I breathe in the sweetness of freshly cut grass, inside muscle. The scent becomes the stench I will forever associate with the last time I see my father. because as he kneels for another strike...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?